Formulaic games, anti-consumer practices, toxic workplaces. As far as the game industry goes, Ubisoft is arguably the worst. And finally, after a billion years of being amongst the most untouchable publishers in the industry, Ubisoft have hit a breaking point. Assassin's Creed Shadows is here, and how it performs is vital to Ubisoft right now. More than any project they've released in over a decade. Because, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Ubisoft might actually be dying. I'm like a kid on Christmas, or a kid on Fortnite, or a kid when Dr. Disrespect got banned. For years, we've been feeling the burn of oversaturation in the industry. Sequels, remakes, buggy games being released with devs saying, we'll fix it later. Hello, you bought Cyberpunk? Fuck you. The game does not work. We think this is funny. We are going to spend the next 2 years fixing the game, and everyone will forget that we scammed you. If you keep up with the industry, this stuff gets exhausting. Like, I'm not exactly a modern game hater. In fact, I'm on record saying that modern games still get bangers every year. However, even me, the most white-pilled Gen Z 2025 modern gamer, cannot deny that there is a lot of AAA slop. Games that make you roll your eyes when you see trailers on your YouTube homepage. Jesus Christ, make it stop. The AAA industry has lost a lot of soul in the games they make. And you know what? I need someone to blame. All this slop, this doesn't just come from nowhere. Somebody made this the meta. And if you ask me who's responsible, it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Is there a game company that deserves its downfall more? Probably. But actually, no. They're like the Nestle of video games. That might be a bit too harsh. The Nestle CEO is like a literal, fucking lizard. Ubisoft is currently in a bit of a make or break situation. They have reached a point where they might not be able to keep coasting off of the goodwill they built in the 2000s. And man, does it feel good watching these assholes fall. Potentially a super gay sentence I just said. Yeah, people have talked about this recently, but I don't feel like they condemn this company nearly enough. So please, get comfortable. Because I'm about to rant for a good 20 minutes about this shit show of a company. First though, I want to catch you up with what's actually going on at Ubisoft. Well, over the last couple months, their stock value has tanked. I'm talking fall-offs like Michael Jordan going to baseball. Talk Tua after she, scammed people. Nvidia after China. Ubisoft's value is in the gutter right now. The company has not been worth this little since over a decade ago. And the industry is a lot more volatile now than it ever was. So a drop like this, man, they are, in my opinion, one more flop away from closing their doors or merging with Activision. I don't know. And why is this happening? Well, they simply can't stop making dumbass decisions. It's like crack for them. Yeah. Oh, the shareholders are gonna hate that. We just lost $500 million off that. A few months ago, I made a video about unreleased games, and I talked about Beyond Good and Evil 2, Ubisoft's sequel that has been stuck in development hell for pretty much 20 years now. No doubt, at this point, that Ubisoft would have dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into this project that is probably never coming out, with nothing to show for it. That's bad business. What about Skull and Bones? Supposedly the first ever quadruple A game, with a bigger budget than what Elon spent on that ruby and sapphire encrusted butt plug. A lot of money. This shit flopped.
Oh, fuck.
And frankly, I have no idea how they thought they were going to turn a profit on this. You can't just throw Michelle Rodriguez on screen and expect me to buy your scurvy simulator. Did I low-key have a crush on her as a kid? Yeah, and you know what? You did too. Don't lie. But Ubisoft, you can't rely on gooners to single-handedly save your sales. Shit, man, it took them 5 Far Cry games to start realizing, hey, maybe we shouldn't keep flushing $100 million down the toilet and expect it to spit back $1 billion. Outlaws was dead in the water. The Division sucks. The Crew was a scam. Watch Dogs, I don't even, the Avatar game was easily the stupidest game you could have ever possibly funded. This was for sure never gonna make money. This could have been the best game in the world, and it still wouldn't have made money. These aren't just regular ass flops too that you can patch over with a new release. These are expensive projects. Countless terrible decisions have made Ubisoft's public perception just tank. But there's so much to why I hate this company beyond bad releases, so please, bear with me. NFT games. Alright, first of all, you know what NFTs are for? Gamblers. This entire industry is built off of people buying a digital asset with the hope of pawning it off to some other loser before the value drops. These people are playing million-dollar hot potato with made-up pixels. And Ubisoft decides, yeah, I want to get in on that? Not just that, but then they want to take one of my favorite childhood characters, Rayman, and make him a fucking bald... What are you doing, Ubisoft? If you couldn't even sell Star Wars, what makes you think that monkey PNGs were going to do the trick? Their customer support? Non-existent. No, literally. You would have better luck discovering time travel, going back to the 2010s and having a shot to marry Prime Megan Fox than to get one of these fucking than you would a Ubisoft customer service rep to help you. You're more likely to win the lottery. Twice. Shit, I'm pretty sure Bungie is gonna make another Halo game before one of these motherfuckers pick up the phone. Genuinely, Google anything about Ubisoft customer support and you will find horror stories. Ubisoft, you're worth like $1 trillion, or at least you were. How is this happening? Oh god. The DRM. Ubisoft really are the OGs of basically anything abhorrent in the video game industry. These motherfuckers were doing always online DRM in 2009.
Go to Albania.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 on PC had this fun little tumor called Uplay, basically forcing you to have an internet connection and sign up to their scam-ass service before you could play a single-player game that you purchased on a physical disc.
No!
If you're not familiar with DRM, it's essentially something that forces you to check in online at all times while you're playing a game. The idea is that if you're signed up and online, then Ubisoft can verify, yup, this guy's playing a legal copy of the game, like a good little boy. DRM is an anti-piracy measure meant to protect profits. The reason it's bad is because for the small minority of people that live out in the middle of fuck-ass nowhere, DRM can lock them out of games they paid for, purely because they don't have a reliable internet connection. Ironically, forcing them to don the eye patch themselves. And that's not even mentioning that half the time, their buggy-ass Uplay, Ubisoft Connect, whatever it is a legitimate barrier stopping you from playing Steam games. Why would you make this mandatory? Because you hate God, Ubisoft, is that it? Are you Satan? But what should I expect from a company that once said people should get used to not owning their games? DRM is commonplace now. Thanks. I hope your company does well. I'm lying. Oh, here's something we all love. False advertising. Remember when Watch Dogs was being revealed as this huge game that looks amazing and you can do all this hacker shit? They showed the game at E3, looking gorgeous as hell.
Yes, Daddy.
Then, when the game dropped, it looked like they smeared ass juice all over your screen.
Yes, 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 yes! No, 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 fuck!
This is the first I had ever heard of straight false advertising in a video game. Ubisoft were ahead of their time, truly. And unbelievably, against all odds, they still somehow managed to pump out more of this watchdog shit. And damn, this one's fun. Ubisoft, you have had multiple instances of multiple executives being arrested for sexual assaults at your company. And I say executives, but these people are pretty high ranking. We're talking the CEO, the co-founder, vice president, head director, the global head of human resources. Go ahead and pause if you want to read what some of these allegations are. Police apparently found enough credible evidence to actually make arrests on these very important people at the company. But wait, the head of HR got arrested? That's weird. Why would that be? Isn't human resources the place that you go to when something like this happens? Well, as it turns out, yeah, these things were reported, and the reason she got arrested was because she covered it up. That's more arrests than Jagex, and they had a literal convicted. That's more legal action than Blizzard. They are known for hosting the Diddy parties of the game industry. Riot Games had to pay out $100 million for how they were treating women in the workplace, and they aren't even close to this level of fuckery. But somehow, this isn't even what pisses me off most about your company. And it's not the stupid projects that should have never been funded, the NFT games, or the invasive DRM. No, what I hate the most is that you're so goddamn unoriginal. The Assassin's Creed franchise might have damaged the game industry more than anything else has ever.
Oh no! Buddy, Dad, whatever you want, my guy.
Formulaic games. First of all, we've had sports games before. They're formulaic, sure, but like, it's sports. This shit is formulaic. It's like soccer, you know, or football if you're gay. This game has not changed in 100 years. EA isn't gonna change it either. So yeah, call me insane, but I think sports games more or less get a pass for being copy and paste. They have other issues. Ubisoft are the first AAA guys to make an original fictional IP with interesting lore and a great fleshed out world, and just keep piling onto it to the detriment of the franchise. Milk this cool idea you had one time until there's nothing left. I checked out of the Assassin's Creed franchise with Revelations because even though I enjoyed that game, as a child, I could see, damn, this is getting kinda boring. Since then, there's been like 100 Assassin's Creed games. These dudes don't even care to make anything interesting. They're just blindfolding themselves and throwing darts at a board with place names on them. Assassin's Creed, but they're American. Assassin's Creed, but they're French. Assassin's Creed, but they're British. Assassin's Creed, but they're Egyptian. Assassin's Creed, but they're Greek. Assassin's Creed, but they're black? In my video games? Yeah, as you probably know, Ubisoft recently caught some heat for having a black character in their Japanese Assassin's Creed game. What pisses me off about this controversy is that it clouds the discussion around Assassin's Creed Shadows over this dumb shit. Yes, we should be flaming this game, but no, it has nothing to do with the fact that there's a historically accurate samurai. It has everything to do with the fact that Ubisoft are still making Assassin's Creed games. How are they still making a generic-ass open-world game, putting a hood over the main character, and calling it Assassin's Creed, and then making up some sad story excuse for how this place had assassins too, just like Ezio. You remember Ezio? That you liked so much as a kid? It's so lame. Ubisoft has been doing this forever. Far Cry 3 was a hit, so they just ruin it with games that make no sense. Far Cry Primal? Dude, why was this a Far Cry game? You ruined Prince of Persia as well. fucking... Look, there are franchises that pump out a billion sequels. That isn't inherently an issue, but the Pokemon games, for example, are sold on catching unique monsters, so there's a reason to play every new gen. Street Fighter's appeal is not the convoluted-ass story, it's... What made Assassin's Creed and Far Cry good were the characters, the story. It's AC, but in a different location, is completely missing the point of what made the originals worth playing. You told the stories you needed to tell. All this extra shit is just embarrassing. By the way, there are finite locations in the world. You can't keep doing this shit forever, Ubisoft. If Ubisoft somehow survives 2025, expect Assassin's Creed Outback. Unoriginality is probably the biggest reason that Ubisoft has the reputation that it does now. Pair that with the fact that they flop more than my GOAT LeBron.
I just love my dog.
And yeah, it's not hard to see why this company can't find the money to stay afloat. All that being said, thank God one of these giant-ass, terrible game corpos are finally going down. Listen, I think mass layoffs in the industry are a horrible thing. The game industry is suffering, and it's the fault of greedy suits that have never played a game in their lives running these game companies. They want safe profits. But I hope that Ubisoft's downfall sends a message to the industry. You don't need to dump millions into a tired-ass sequel with graphics that are frankly way too good to even be enjoyable. Make a AA game every once in a while. Ubisoft deserves everything that's about to come to them once Assassin's Creed Shadows inevitably fails. If you're watching this now, the game is about to come out very soon, so we'll see if I'm right about this. If I'm wrong, then Mr. Ubisoft CEO, I don't know. I'll get zesty. Ubisoft's failure could mean a better game industry. I mean, they built their empire on changing the industry for the worse. The best thing they can do for us now is fail and show the world that sometimes villains do lose. Maybe this isn't what gaming should be about. Anyway, that was a lot of ranting. I'm gonna go play some Minecraft. Thank you for watching. See ya.